7 decades of country music. Over 70 artists, all in one room sharing their songs, their stories, and their lives with you. This is Country's Family Reunion Nashville. Let's listen in on Volume 7.
Boy, it's great to have a country family reunion, and we got a bunch gathered here this time.
I just wanted to say how nice Lacey J looks today. She used Preparation H last night. She told me, she said, all the time I was doing that, I thought, well, I hope Barbara Fairchild's not lying to me. You look beautiful, honey. Explain that.
Yeah, those of you that weren't here yesterday, Barbara told us a whole long routine about using that on your face. Beauty tips.
You use it under the eyes.
Well, your eyes are on your face.
Oh, you have to. No, I use it under my eyes.
See, there you go.
Oh, you got it.
Your whole head is shrink.
There you go. So we got several witnesses. Do you hear that, Lacey?
What's that?
Margot said she uses it under her eyes. Stonewall said he's used it for years.
Lacey, did you get it?
Connie told you. She learned from me.
Did you get a new tube?
She said no, she already had
People.
Jimmy Fortune wanted to know if she turned the other cheek.
We break occasionally during these family reunion visits, and they have some food for us down the hall. James Gregory, our comedian friend from Atlanta, every time I look down there in the food line, you are down there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I've gained 3 or 4 pounds the past 2 days. Somebody asked me, they said, James, I think you're putting on weight. I said, well, I just had breakfast. Sometimes, it depends on what time of day you get back there. Sometimes I'm the only one eating the real food. At lunch yesterday, they had sugar-free brand muffins. I asked the lady, I said, are you kidding me? Sugar-free means it's not sweet. There's no vanilla chocolate frosting. There's no cream cheese in the middle. There's no jelly. That's what I used to call a rock, you know. I noticed, and I learned in traveling, when I do my comedy shows, there's always another comedian on the show with me. And it's usually a guy that's much younger. Like age-wise, he's a generation behind me. And I don't know where in the dickens these young guys, I don't know where their mother was. I mean, these guys were not raised right. I mean, they don't smoke. A lot of them don't even drink. Yeah. I mean, ain't that odd? It's like working with little girls, really. I mean, we go out to lunch. I'm embarrassed to go to lunch with them. I wouldn't be embarrassed if they were women. These are grown men in a public restaurant, a 5-page menu, and what do they get? Tuna tomato. Tuna tomato. Or an $8 Caesar salad. You think about this now. It's 4 ounces of romaine lettuce. 4 ounces. And they go, it's just $7.95. Let's all get one. I'd get a whole bucket of chicken for $8. And everybody's in this health craze now. The political correctness is even taking over our eating habits. I'm just not going to jump on that bandwagon. I mean, I went to the doctor. I had a complete physical from head to toe in 1968. Why do I need a second opinion? I mean, and they'll make fun of my food because while they're sitting there grazing around their lunch, they just graze and interrogate the waiter. Was this butter? Is this margarine? Was this fried? Was this grilled? Come on, eat. Just eat. You know? While they're going through all that, I'm sitting there with chicken fried steak, extra gravy, mashed potatoes, extra gravy, a lot of cornbread, a lot of butter, and I mean real butter. None of that little wimpy stuff like, I can't believe it's not butter. Come on. And they also have, I can't believe it's not butter spray. It's a butter mist. I'm going to tell you all something. If your daughter is dating a guy who sprays his butter, there's not going to be any grandkids. I'm just telling you. I come from a background. My mother used to say that an empty stomach is the devil's playground. You know how some people say, I can't do so-and-so on an empty stomach. I can't do so-and-so on an empty stomach. My family, we can't eat on an empty stomach. If we're awake, we're eating, you know. But those young guys I just talked about, they'll make fun of me. They'll point at my food. And they'll go, you know what that greasy food's going to do to you? I'm like, yeah, fill me up. I have to eat that way. I need to maintain my strength. Because I'm usually one of the pallbearers. when my healthy friends drop dead working out. And we all know that does happen, you know. And we had a young fellow, a radio personality in Atlanta, Georgia. This was on the news. He worked at a radio station. He dropped dead. He was 31 years old, 31. And he was, after work, he'd go to the gym and he'd work out. He was trying to press weight X number of pounds and had a heart attack. And they talk about what a tragedy that was. I'm thinking, well, you know, come on. You're lifting heavy stuff after you've punched out. Who would do that? I'm off work, let me go lift something heavy. The reason I'm still kicking, because while he was doing that, I was laying on the couch watching Andy Griffith. Yeah. So you have to be careful. It's okay to take care of yourself, but don't get this extreme physical fitness. I got a tour. I name every tour. And this one is Exercise Can Kill You. It's on the news all the time, but you've heard stories about some fellow who'll drop dead jogging. Drop dead jogging. Imagine that. He's got car payments of $300 a month, and the buffoon is out running. And I've never heard a single story about anybody dropping dead, eating banana pudding, watching TV.
James Gregory. You've been here long enough. Can you stand up just enough to let the camera get a shot of your pants?
We had trouble hearing you because your pants were too loud.
Oh, my pants.
He has gotten in the spirit of the music business with his pants. Y'all cameramen get a good shot of that.
These were $8. I ordered them through the mail. Shipping and handling was $6. So, by the way, Billy Crash Craddock spilled coffee on my good pants.
Yeah. He had on a brand new pair of jeans yesterday.
And I just got those out of layaway.
Speaking of food, we got a guy sitting over here in the black cowboy hat. Tell you a little bit about Cajun food from down in the great state of Louisiana, Jimmy C. Newman. Your wife is quite the cook. You don't just sit around and eat 4 ounces of romaine lettuce at your house, do you?
No, we're heavy on rice. Real heavy on rice. All of our Cajun food, the main dishes go with rice, like the gumbo and the sauce pecan and the etouffee. And so, but a lot of folks like lettuce too. It takes a lot of room for salads, and I like to fill up on the main thing.
Can you cook?
Because it's more gooder than good.
You cook yourself?
Very little.
No, but he's a heck of a taster.
Yes, and I burnt water the other day, so I don't cook very often.
Miss May makes the greatest jambalaya. Miss May.
Jimmy's wife?
Yeah, Jimmy's wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
She makes the greatest.
I've been begging for an invitation. When are you going? Why don't you invite all this group and just go out to your house and eat Cajun food when we get through?
Well, why don't I invite everybody when I get up to sing Jambalaya with me instead? Like that, you'll all indulge in a little bit of food, because I don't think Miss May can take more than 8 or 7 of us, side by each.
All right. Well, we'll settle for a song about Cajun food then.
Okay, you want me to walk
Absolutely,
up to the microscope?
Sure. And what we do at the family reunions is everybody joins in to sing. What, Jan?
Sing instead.
I learned a long time ago one of the hardest.
Just instead of.
Yeah. I was talking on an electric microphone here and didn't realize you were talking too. A long time ago, I learned that one of the hardest things to do is to follow a comedian or a child act, or a dog or a pony act. So y'all help me with jambalaya.
I'm sorry you put me in that same category.
I My billboy said, I don't believe I should have told that one when I did that, because he's quick in it. By Jove, you gotta go, me oh my oh. You gotta go, pull a P-road down the bayou. But I ain't found the sweetest wine, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. Oh, tonight I'm gonna see my Cherokee, oh. Big guitar, fill the jar, and the Gayle. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Yeah! That's my song. Dope up and other places buzzing. Then for crime I see one by the dozen. Western style we go hog wild, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. Oh, tonight I'm gonna see my Cherokee, oh. Big guitar, filter jar, and the Gayle. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Hey, thank you all. Thank you, James. James was singing too.
All right. I don't know if the cameras picked it up or not, but we had a real buck dance going with a real buck down there on the end. Will you come out here and cut a rug, let the band play just a little more of that and dance?
Come out here, yeah.
Sharon can do it too? Sharon, you want to dance with Dad?
Well, I can't dance in these boots.
All right, y'all get ready to crank it up, Mike. And Sharon. Did she wear you out there, Buck?
Oh, no. Hey, Bill, that's what a 77-year-old man can do, buddy. That was good.
77 out there cutting the rug. That's great, man. We got another Louisiana boy back here, Joe Stampley. You a Cajun food man?
I love it. I do. You cook? And he left one thing out. Boudin's pretty good, too.
Boudin.
But I'm northwest Louisiana, 1 mile from Arkansas, 30 miles from East Texas. So I was just right up in that little corner of northwest Louisiana.
Well, can you do the AE that he does?
Hey.
What does that mean, Jim? What does AE mean?
Well, it started with two Cajuns. Then they were hunting and fishing on the bayou, and this one got lost. So he didn't know what to do except holler, hey! And he heard another Cajun way over there on the bayou. He answered him back, hey! And they were both lost. They caught on right there.
There is a difference, too, between us North Louisiana people and South Louisiana people. And the difference is Jimmy's toes grow like this, and up north, ours grow like this.
Web. He's trying to say we're web-footed.
Web feet. Mel McDaniel's not from Louisiana, but one of your biggest records was Louisiana Saturday Night.
Oh, for sure, Bill. I'll tell you what, I'm really thankful for that. I tell you what, though, the Oaks, I love those guys. They're all super. But if they hadn't had Elvira at the time, That would have been a #1 in Billboard. I got it. I couldn't get away from those guys, though.
You play a lot of shows in Louisiana, I guess.
Well, quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
We were working all over.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you here for the first time.
I'm proud to be here, Bill. I tell you, I love all the folks here. You know, I grew up listening to a bunch of them, and Lord, he never dreamed I'd ever be able to sit around in a room like this and see everybody like this. It's
You're actually
amazing.
from Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma,
Yeah.
What is it in the water in Oklahoma? Half the people in country music anymore, have you noticed? They're from Oklahoma. Kelly's from Oklahoma. Shepard's from Oklahoma. Patty Page is from Oklahoma. That's right. Sure are. And then there's some guy named Garth and some lady named Reba.
We had the centennial this past year, 07.
Been trying to get into
And they had, I must have been 50 artists from the country field there, and big ones, Toby and Garth and Reba and Carrie Underwood, and it was amazing. It was a beautiful night.
Don't they have some kind of a music hall of fame? Or,
Yes, now in Muskogee.
Oklahoma, just for people from Oklahoma?
That's right.
Yeah.
I was one of the first inductees with Merle Haggard, yeah.
Where did they have the centennial? I mean, the
In
show?
Oklahoma City.
In Oklahoma City.
At the big
Oklahoma
arena.
Yeah.
It was
Where are you
great.
from, Mel?
I was born in Shakota. Went to, I claim Okmulgee is my hometown. There, it's about 35, 40 miles away, something like that. But so proud to be from Oklahoma.
Can you give us a little bit of Baby's Got Her Blue Jeans On?
Ooh, I like that.
Well, if y'all, yeah, sure, I try my best. By golly, Bill,
That was a
thanks.
big one for you, wasn't it?
Oh, my,
Nobody
yeah.
kept you out of #1 with that one.
Yeah, there wasn't no Elvira in front of me.
Hey, I have an Oklahoma story.
Jan has an Oklahoma story.
Right. Have y'all ever heard of Belle Starr, the woman outlaw?
Yeah.
And her maiden name was Belle Shirley, who was my grandfather's family. So one of my ancestors is Belle Starr and Ben Starr, the outlaws in Oklahoma. So that tells you something.
Your family was a bunch of outlaws.
Yeah.
We're glad to know that, Jan.
I thought you'd like to know that because you make me mad, you get shot, hung, or scalped. 'Cause the other ones are Comanche Indians.
All right. Lay a little music on us, Mel.
Thank you, Billy. I didn't mean to step all over that, Miss Jane.
Oh, that's all
Here
right.
we go. Oh, my goodness. Down on the corner by the traffic light, everybody's looking as she goes by. They turn their head and they watch her till she's gone. Oh, my. Lord have mercy, baby's got her blue jeans on. Thank you, T. Yeah. Up by the bus stop and across the street, open up that window to take a peek. Y'all, she goes walking, rocking like a rolling stone. Oh my, heaven help us, baby's got her blue jeans on. Yeah, they do. She can't help it, she's made that way, y'all. She's not to blame if they look her way. She ain't really trying to cause a scene. It just come naturally. Now the girl can't help it. Well, up on Main Street where the taxi stand, there's a crowd of people and a traffic jam. But she don't look back. She ain't done a doggone thing wrong. Oh, sir. Lord have mercy, baby's got her blue jeans on. We'll do it again, T. All right. She can't help it, she's made that way, y'all. She's not to blame if they look her way. She ain't really trying to cause a scene. It just come naturally. Y'all, the girl can't help it. Down on the corner by the traffic light, everybody's looking as she goes by. They turn their head and they watch her till she's gone. got them blue jeans on. Oh my. Thank you so much, y'all. Appreciate it, Billy. Hadn't done good for us.
That's a great one, Neil. Thank you very much. There's a
Thanks,
fellow
Jimmy.
amongst us
Thanks,
here
Mike.
that I don't know if everybody knows or not, but we've talked a lot during the time we've all been together here about the future of country music and who's going to carry on traditional country music. For those of you that haven't met him, and we didn't all get a chance to before we came in, there's a young man over there named Justin Trevino from Texas. And boy, he is an amazing talent, a wonderful traditional country music singer. And I want to welcome you here, Justin. I want to ask you something because we were talking about Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
And Stonewall mentioned, and earlier, Stonewall, before you got here, we did a little tribute to the great Hank Thompson from Oklahoma. Justin was engineering the last record that Hank Thompson was in the studio recording. Talk about that a little bit,
Yes,
Justin.
sir. Well, we had a lot of fun. You know, I had worked with Hank on stage quite a bit in recent years. He didn't carry a band for several years, and it kind of started, I guess, I was working for Johnny Bush. I know a lot of you know John.
Yeah.
I was working for Johnny Bush at the time, and they started doing some things together, Johnny Bush and Hank Thompson. So we got to work together on stage quite a bit, and knew him pretty well, and was really looking forward to making this record. And you know, we got the gang together and got all the tracks done. Hank was kind of it was mostly new material, and he had all the words written out, but you know, his eyesight had gotten real poor, and he was having a real tough time even singing scratch vocals because he was having a hard time reading the page, and he didn't know the songs that well. So and he was fighting really, I think, what he thought was severe allergies at the time, you know. And so he said, well, I'll just wait till I get a little better and we'll come back and do the vocals later on. And I, so you know, so we got the tracks done, but to make a long story short, he was never able to come back and do the singing. And so the record's not, you know, we don't have anything really, but always had a good time with Hank. I had a lot of fun and something kind of amusing. I don't know whether I ought to tell this or not, but I will. We were talking about Hank was real hands-on with the arrangements, and he already kind of had it in his head. You know, I want 16 bars of solo here, and I want the first 8 to be steel, and then we'll do 3 fiddles, and you know, and I started asking him about the voicing on the fiddles, because when you go back and listen to those records of Hank Thompson and the Brazos Valley Boys, sometimes they played unison, sometimes they played parts, sometimes they played octaves. And I was asking him what what he wanted, or if there was a pattern or a rhyme or reason to that kind of stuff. And he said, well, we always just kind of did whatever sounded good to us, you know. He said, one thing I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear that fiddle bow bouncing. And he's talking about the pop, pop, ba, that kind of thing. He said, you know, Ray Price and his clones have just wore that out, and I had to say, watch it, Hank. I'm one of them.
Man, you do a great Hank Thompson impersonation. Sound exactly like him.
That's a Nick New.
It is a Nick New. That's exactly what it is.
Nick New, yeah. They can always use them tracks, man.
Well, I tell you what, we've got some good tracks, and we're me and Tracy Pitcox are trying to figure out what we're going to do with them.
In this business, we don't waste nothing, son.
Well, that's the truth. That is the truth.
How hard is it on you, Justin, because you're young and you're in the state of Texas and you're keeping the traditional country music alive? Do you feel sometimes like you're swimming upstream? Because so many people your age are doing it otherwise.
I hate to admit it, but you're absolutely right. I mean, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you think, boy, this is, all around you, you're hearing top 40 country and you know, the music of today. And people, of course, a lot of my friends up here, they say, man, I want to go down to Texas where you guys still play country music. And they're partly right. we do still play country music in Texas, but even in Texas, it's not as abundant as it once was, or as I think it should be, you know. And so it is a challenge. It's a challenge to find places to work, you know. And I was talking to a good friend of mine last night, a fiddle player by the name of Drew Covington, and I think he's like he said, you know, it's a niche market, and we kind of know when we go in how many records we can sell, and luckily we're able to do it and do what we, you know, try to. I mean, I just want to try to sustain and preserve the music that I love so much, and I know I'm not the only one that feels that way about it. You know,
How
I know
about
there's
singing us one of them good country honky tonk songs.
I'd love to. You know, I think I'm gonna head up for the microphone. I told Roxanne earlier that I was gonna stay put, but I got to get where I can hear Mike Johnson. You know.
Well, while Christy's helping you there, what were you gonna say, Jim Ed? Jan.
I was working. Justin is a great artist. Yeah. He not only is a great producer and everything, but he has an unbelievable voice, as we're fixing to find out. But I was working down there. I was working down there with a band down there that was left a little bit to be desired, frankly, and they left a lot to be desired. Justin was there, and he jumped up on stage, and he plays great bass also, but he knew everything I'd ever recorded. He knew all of our duets, yours and mine. He knew my duets with Wynn Stewart, and he jumped up there and he saved my life that night. I tell you.
I worked with him and his crew down there, and boy, he knows everything that any of us ever done.
Yeah, I know it. It's great.
They play his records all the time on XM, on satellite radio. You can't turn on Willie's Place or the older country channels and not hear this young man.
Well, he's fantastic, and to be a young man like he is, and to know all of our material.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's refreshing.
He may be a young man, but he's got an old soul.
Yes, I believe.
And that's good.
He really does.
I say that as a compliment.
Yeah, he does.
Justin, have we built you up enough now?
Sir, I tell you what, I love you guys, Bill and Jan and Gene, and so many of my friends and heroes here, Jimmy C., little Jimmy Dickens. I could go on. I just met Sharon White Skaggs for the first time, and I've been talking to Buck all morning, and I'm just in the midst of so many people that I really look up to. And I tell you, I'm sitting right between Patty Page and Sharon. I mean, how much better can it get, you know? Well, let's try to do this thing. Mike Johnson, you ready?
Jukebox in the corner is playing Whiskey River. The neon star shines bright above the bar. There's laughing, dancing, shooting pool, crying, drinking, lonely fools, and people here who don't know where they are. It's the kind of place you go to when you have no one to turn to help you ease your pain and misery. It's a hangout for the losers and a hideout for the boozers and a place to go for lonely fools like me. It's just a honky-tonk, a Texas honky-tonk, where the flipping off the tops and the music never stops. It's just a honky-tonk, a Texas honky-tonk, but it's become my home since you've been gone. Let's be. I used to think that someday we might get back together. I couldn't stand the thought of losing you, but I must accept reality that you're not coming back to me. You you found your happiness with someone new. So I sit here in this same old chair, pretending that I just don't care, trying to forget your love somehow. From the top of the world to the bottom of the bottle, I've sank too deep to ever pull out now. Here in this honky tonk, this Texas honky tonk, where the flipping of the tops and the music never stops, it's just a honky tonk, a Texas honky tonk. But it's become my home since you've been gone. Yes, it's become my home since you've been gone.
That is incredible, Justin. That is just absolutely terrific. Jimmy Dickens,
What?
you were grinning.
No, he might be a pretty good old boy, but I hate people with talent. I just can't stand it.
You've been in a few of them Texas honky tonks, haven't you?
I had a few, yeah. I mean, I've been in a few.
Yeah. You've been with us since we've all been together here, and I haven't seen or heard anything about Miss Mona. Where's your wife?
She's fine. Mona's fine. She's able to quarrel and chop. Yeah, she's doing good.
That's how you know she's okay?
Well, it's a wonder she ain't here. She goes with me a lot of places.
I know it.
Sometimes I think she'd rather go with me than to kiss me goodbye, to be honest about it. She's on a diet now.
Oh, she is?
Eating nothing but bananas and coconut. So far, she ain't lost a pound, but she's climbing every tree in the yard. She's doing good. She gives me some strange answers now and then. I asked her the other day, I said, honey, would you cheat on me? She said, who else would I cheat on? She said, Christmas time, she said, I knew she'd been looking at cars. And I asked her what she wanted for Christmas. She said, I want something that'll go from 0 to 150 in 10 seconds. And I bought her some bathroom scales.
No wonder she ain't following you here. You're putting me on. How many years you and Miss Mona been married now?
37.
37 years. And renewed your vows, I think, on your 25th anniversary on stage at the Opera.
Yes, we did.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, ask Dickens what he got Mona for Christmas present.
Ask him what he got Mona
for a Christmas present.
I told you.
Oh, he said that's what he got her. Oh, you mean what she got him?
Oh, yeah.
He got her.
What'd she get you?
Well, she asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said, I want something to wear and something to play with, and she bought me a suit and cut the pockets out of the pants.
T-Gram like that.
I was told by Dickens that he bought Mona a treadmill.
I did. I did buy her a treadmill, not for her to lose weight. I just wanted to hear her breathe hard again.
You may have to throw your hat in first when you go home tonight, pal. I was looking around the room while Justin was singing that old Texas honky tonk 4/4 shuffle there, which everybody loved. One of the people that was patting, keeping time with the music and grinning was Crystal Gayle. You like that kind of music,
Oh, I
Crystal?
love it. I love your voice.
Thank you, Crystal. I love
Sounds
yours.
great. Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just love it. I mean,
Did you ever sing that kind of? I mean, you're known more for the, the real smooth kind of.
Well, when I first started, I sang my sister's songs left and right, everybody's songs. I mean, I love singing and I love country. Definitely, that's my soul, my roots. But when I started recording, Loretta gave me the best advice, and she said, quit singing my songs. We have one Loretta Lamb, we don't need another. She also said, you do something different than I would record. So that's really why I went down the middle of the road. I love singing it all. When I was doing your show, Jim Ed, she would call me up. She says, why'd you sing that song? You flatted that note on that. She helped me out a lot. So I throw that song out. But no, she helped me.
That was good advice, though, from Loretta.
I would not have made it.
Yeah.
I don't think being in the same business as my sister, because that, really...
Yeah, but when someone hears your voice and your recordings, they know immediately that it is Crystal Gayle. Right. You have your own identity. And
does she sing good.
And she
I always wanted a soprano voice, one that could go.
I believe the American public got that kind of music taken away from them without them having a voice in it. And if radio ever would wise up and start playing some of that good stuff again, they'd find out there's a lot of people out there that would be turned on to something unfortunately would be new for them, and they would love it just as much. But it is still just... And it's a well-known fact, everybody loves Crystal Gayle.
You're sweet.
You did When I Dream, which was beautiful, but there's a lot of people that would love to hear Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue.
I would love to sing
including
that.
me and Jim Ed and everybody else sitting in the circle.
That was a song that Richard Lee wrote, and he wrote my first #1, which was I'll Get Over You. And it was a song that I almost didn't get. They were getting ready to send it to California for somebody out there to sing. And Alan Reynolds, who was producing me, went to his house and said, play me some songs. And played everything except that one song. He says, well, we'll have one more, but we're going to ship it out on Monday. And he said, well, play it. And I'm so glad Alan went there. We'd never had that song. Because he said, you're not sending it anywhere.
Anyway, you'd sit on my knee and sing that.
Now you behave up there.
Are you a ventriloquist?
We've worked together.
Johnny, you got to have a lap for her to sit on your knee. I got a what? What'd you say? I said, you got to have a lap for her to be able to sit on your knee. I got a little leg still sticking out here.
Well, I'd love to sing it. You want me to sing it?
You sing it wherever you're comfortable.
I'll sing it. I'll sing it down here. But do I need a mic
hurry
for
and sing and put an end to this chatter.
I'm going to wait.
Don't know when I've been so blue. Don't know what's come over you. You found someone new, and don't I make my brown eyes blue. I'll be fine when you go. I'll just cry all night long. Say it isn't true, and don't I make my brown eyes blue. Tell me no secrets, tell me some lies. Give me no reasons, give me alibis. Tell me you love me, and don't let me cry. Say anything, but don't say goodbye. I didn't mean to treat you bad. Didn't know just what I had, but honey, now I do. And don't I make my brown eyes, don't I make my brown eyes, don't I make my brown eyes blue. you, Jimmy.
You know, I like how cool you are, Crystal, when you sing. You're so relaxed. I remember when you used to get a little bit nervous before a show.
I was very shy as a kid, and I wouldn't say a word. It's strange that I can talk now, but I don't, I'd go on stage when I first started out, and I'd stand there, and I wouldn't move. I'd be in front of that mic, and I was just, I don't know, but I could sing, but I couldn't really talk. I don't know where Loretta got all the talking.
Can I ask a personal question?
A personal question.
And I know we're all wondering this, and everybody's such a huge fan of yours, and you know what's coming because you get it a lot. Where do you put all that hair at night when you go to bed?
Honey, you're not supposed to ask the
No, I was just asking because
I keep it on my head.
Beautiful. Because I mean, that's kind of become your trademark through the years, and everybody. And I've always, does it like go on a big bun, or does it like?
I do not like to put my hair up when I sleep because it's tight. It can give a headache. So I put it above my pillow. I find that's the easiest. Then I don't roll on it. And
boy, it sure is pretty.
I have to say something. My name is Kelly, and I've been around the music business for a long time because my dad was Conway Twitty's road manager. And Crystal, a lot of you all used to open up for Conway, and Crystal opened up for his shows a lot. I love you so much. I can't take it. I wanted to be you so bad. And I used to have this, I don't know if you all know Joe Lewis. Big Joe Lewis played bass for Conway. When he passed away, all of his albums were given to me, and a lot of them were yours. And I used to sit in my room, and I had a gooseneck lamp and a little wooden microphone with my name etched in it. And I used to think I was you. I just am so honored to be on the stage with you. Everybody in here, but especially you. You're just awesome to me.
I love working with Conway, and I've opened for him quite a bit.
Yeah, you did.
And he actually, when I first started in the business and I was working with him, and he said, I didn't have any trouble with anybody bothering me on the road. I was this young girl out there, and he said everyone's straight that I'd work around. So, his band.
My dad was probably in charge of your protection.
Yeah, probably. But he's great. Thank you.
I'd like to say something about Crystal. We, with the Statler Brothers, we had a TV show for 7 years on TNN. It was #1 show. Crystal Gayle hosted that show with us, and she did a marvelous job.
Yes, she did.
She's one of the best in the business. And I'll go back a little ways and tell a story on myself. Before the Statler Brothers, I sang in clubs back home in Virginia. And I used to sing, "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue." So I was the one that had to sing all the girl songs in the band. So, but we love you, Crystal, and thank you so much.
I love this show.
I think there's only a few artists that come along from time to time who are able to bridge that gap and that takes country music to another level and to reach another audience with it. And I remember the first time that I heard "Don't It Make Your Brown Eyes Blue," I said, this song is going to bring an awareness through Crystal Gayle and because of Loretta Lynn being very traditional, it's going to take our music to another level. And I really attribute you as being one of those people with that song and with your talent of helping to be one of the people to propel country music into a whole new direction to help reach the mass even more.
Didn't you do that at the, excuse me, Crash, just to have to say, didn't you do that at one of the presidential inaugurations? Or
I sang at Reagan's inauguration as well as President Bush Sr.
Yeah, that's taking country music to the new place. Excuse me, Crash.
Yeah, when that song came out in my hometown, it wasn't a hard country song, and so they didn't know whether to play it or not. So they took phone calls. They said, we're going to take phone calls, and we're going to see if it's going to be a hit or not. And boy, it was about 100 to 1. It was going to be a hit. It was fantastic, yeah.
When it came out, it was in the summer of '76, because my Grammy was '77 for that song. And I was working a little rodeo in Sydney, Iowa. And, of course, we'd go out in the break and we'd do our little show, and then we'd go back. But then toward the middle of the week, it was like that song was getting this applause, and I'm thinking, you're out on the road, you don't really know what's going on, and it was just getting so much play. I didn't realize what was happening. And they don't come around that often, and I'm so glad I got that song. And I did get a lot of letters from people that told me that my music opened them up to a style of music that they never listened to, and that always made me feel great.
You have that little catch in your voice that, you know, one other person, it was kind of, not that it is like hers or anything, but you and Tammy Wynette, had that little catch in their voice. And I know both of them, it's natural. That's the way it is. But it's, I don't even know how to explain it.
Definitely.
But I love it. It just shows
Bill,
emotion. But
may
she did an up tempo, not kind of an up tempo. I love it. Why have you left the one you left me for? Da da da. I love that one. So she doesn't just do ballads; she does all of it.
Maybe everybody here loves Crystal, and I love Crystal an awful lot too. But whenever she first got out of school and decided that she was going to get into this business of singing, she was on a television show that I had, came in, and she was a regular on The Country Place, which was at WSM whenever it was up on Nob Hill, you know, when we were doing all of our TV shows. Well, she came in and she sang 2 or 3 times, and everybody knew what a beautiful voice she had. You know, she wasn't at all like Loretta, but Loretta was so worried. You know, Loretta came in. We got Loretta to come in and sing one time on the show with her, but Loretta called me a couple of times and said, "How's she doing? How's she doing? Is she gonna be okay?" And the first thing I know, she's gone. She just took off and left us.
Harold?
But what a beautiful career you have had, and we all love you, sweetheart.
Oh, it's great. I just would like to ask Crystal if she remembers that my brother Owen Bradley recorded a song with her called "I Cried the Blue Out of My Brown Eyes" when she was quite a young lady.
Oh, I love working with Owen.
She was young.
That was my very first, the story here, my very first recording session. I was out on the road with Loretta, and she was going over the songs and helping me, you know, with everything I could with the songs that I was going to record. And I was getting nervous, and she said, "You know, here, take my nerve pill. Take this pill." I'm telling it. So, okay, I took the pill. My mother would have killed me. It knocked me out. I mean, they knocked on that hotel room door. I'm probably 15 minutes before they even got me, awake. I didn't take anything. So finally, I opened the door and we went on home to Nashville. I couldn't sing the next day. I had something that happened. I did not have a voice. So I had to go back in. They put the tracks down, Owen did. And so I went back in with Owen, and on one of the songs I was having a hard time hearing this note, and because it's hard with headphones and all that. So he came out, and right where that note came, he hit it on the xylophone right next to me, and I could sing it. I heard the true tone, and I thought that was just amazing.
He never did it for me.
Didn't do it for me either.
I'm still looking for
Can I
it.
ask you a question? Where is your other sister?
Peggy Sue.
Uh-huh.
I should have dragged her out here. She sings on the road with me. She comes out.
good.
Yeah, she's great. She is incredible. She wrote "Don't Come Home and Drinkin' with Lovin' on Your Mind."
I
Even
didn't
though
know
Loretta
that.
helped with a little of that, but that was I remember her bringing her that song. Loretta was playing in Branson, the Ozarks. Playing there for a week, and we all went on vacation.
I didn't know Peggy Sue wrote that.
Yeah, she did, and she's really a really good songwriter.
She had some great
Harold, you
albums.
brought up your brother's name, Owen Bradley. Looking around this room, there's a whole bunch of us in here that owe a lot to Owen and his wonderful production. He produced so many of the artists. I'm looking next to Crystal down there. Jack Greene, who recorded for Decca and MCA for so many years. Owen Bradley was your producer. Did he ever stand next to you and play on the xylophone?
Yeah, he did everything. He really did.
He was terrific. He cut a lot of hit records with Jack Greene.
He really did. We had 9 number ones. Wow. And so in a row. Owen was a great producer. And
Jack Greene is one of these people that, and I think everybody in here will agree with me if you come to the Opry or listen to the Opry. Jack Greene is singing better today than he sang back when he was making those hit records 9 in a row, pal. Like fine wine. Could we get a good song out of Jack Greene?
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
Can we stand up?
Whatever makes you happy. Crystal's got you a microphone.
Whoops. He's got it.
All right, boys, kick it off. Somewhere there should be for all the world to see a statue of a fool made of stone. The image of a man who let love slip through his hand, and then just let him stand there all alone. And there on his face a gold tear should be placed to honor the million tears he's cried, and the hurt in his eyes would show, so everyone would know. Concealed is a broken heart inside. So build a statue and oh, build it high, so that all can see. And then inscribe the world's greatest fool and name it after me. After me.
Oh, man. Just like fine wine. You told me one time that when that song first was shown to you, that it was an up-tempo song and not a ballad.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was an up tempo.
And it was called Name It After Me instead of Statue.
That's right. That's right. You're true.
Well, that's been a great one. You were very smart to take that song and slow it down and sing the fire out of it.
Yeah. Well, every time I'd want to do that song, Owen Bradley would say he didn't like it because it was the original thing we had. The demo was fast, you know. And he said, "You're a ballad singer." So he told the boys to take a break, and he got on the keyboard and he sat down and here's how it goes.
Man. He was the master at that, and you're the master at singing it. Yeah, Ed. Yeah, great job, John.
Heard a story Ron Peterson told me about Owen and his production. There was a subsequent record a few years later, that song by another artist, and Owen was listening to it. When he got that last part, the da-da-da-da-da, Owen said, "That's my lick. That's my record. Why don't they make their own damn records?" Bill? Statue of a Fool was the first country song I ever sang.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. I was playing drums and singing in a little band in Texas, and we was going to get this after-hours job, help make ends meet at the time. And the club owner's wife loved country music. She said, you guys are good, but the only way we're going to hire you, you're good, but you got to learn some country music. So Statue of a Fool was, still is one of my favorite country songs in the world. First country song I ever sang. And I watched the reaction to people when we started playing it. I said, man, there's something to this. I'm going to learn some more, you know? And that's the song that started me loving and singing country music. And what an honor to see you sing that. Thank you, sir.
That's Jan Crutchfield, wasn't it? Jan right there.
Jan Crutchfield wrote that. Yeah, great song. We've been talking a lot during our little reunion. I don't know how I got two microphones. I'm in stereo here. We've been talking about so many people have come in from out in Branson, and sitting right over there, two of the finest, Leona Williams and our buddy Ferlin Husky. And it is so great to have both of y'all here. Ferlin, we talked about you behind your back before you got here. Gene Shepard was telling all kinds of stories about how...
And they was true.
about how Ferlin Husky and Simon Crumb used to get in arguments with each other.
Yeah, I still do. Yeah.
Is Simon with you today?
If Jeannie was telling stories, some of them may have been true.
They were all true.
Where's Simon?
Do what?
Where is Simon?
How you talk for me?
Yeah.
Hell, I've been sitting here ever since it started.
Is Ferlin treating you all right?
Yeah, sometimes when you ain't got nothing else to do. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Leona, you have to put up with that all the time.
I do, I tell you what. Sometimes when I'm driving, I make him sit in the back seat. Way back there.
Has he ever, when you were going down the road, has he ever done what we were talking about the other day? Ferlin and Simon get in the fight and stop the car and get out?
He hasn't done that yet, but I expect it any time.
Leona Williams is one of the best country singers in the world.
Amen.
And great country music songwriter. You wrote a great big country hit that I'd love to hear you do, and I bet everybody in this room would. That great song called "You Take Me for Granted."
Yes. A lot of people think Haggard wrote it.
Yeah, a lot.
Haggard didn't write half of them. She wrote a bunch of them.
Sure did.
Well, we were talking earlier about how people, you know, they don't realize the songwriters. Bobby Braddock said, you know, most of the people
Well, but
think
Haggard
George
claimed
Jones.
most of them.
Oh.
Haggard's good at putting his name on your song. I know about that.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
You and Merle wrote a song together called "Shopping for Dresses."
We didn't write it together. I wrote the song. He put his name on it. That's what happened there.
Well, the lawyers will be calling soon, won't they, folks?
Take me for granted. Here we go, Bill. My legs and my feet have walked till they can't hardly move from trying to please you. And my back is sore from bending over backwards to just like the world at your door. And I'm trying hard to keep a smile on a sad face, while deep down it's breaking my heart. And as sure as the sun shines, I'll be a lifetime not knowing if I've done my part.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause you take me for granted, and it's breaking my heart. And as sure as the sun shines, I'll be a lifetime not knowing if I've done my as sure as the sun shines, I'll be your lifetime, not knowing if I've done my part, not knowing if I've done my part.
That is so good. Don't put that guitar too far down. That is just incredible, and everybody in this room was just hanging on it.
Thank you. I'm proud to be with all these folks in this room, I tell you. I love all of you and been big fans of all of you for a long time.
Well, we all love you, too. That guy was sitting next to you back there, whether we call him Ferlin or Simon, y'all have done a new record together, right?
We sure have, for Heart of Texas Records. Justin produced it. Ferlin Husky's one of the best entertainers that we've ever had. And I got to sing with Ferlin finally, so.
Can we get you up here, Ferlin? Yeah, I think he's going to come up here. Here we go. All right. They used to call him the star of any stage he steps on, and he still is, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, everybody loves Ferlin. No.
Come here and sing that great song y'all do together, the old time song called As Long As I Live. All right.
Can I get on the other side of it? Okay. What side do I usually get on? Okay, well, I can stand over here.
As long as I live, if it be 1 hour, or if it be 100 years, I'll keep remembering forever and ever. I love you, dear, as long as I live. It was easy said that night we parted, that we'd forget we'd ever met.
I haven't forgotten. I wonder if you have, or if your heart is filled with regret.
As long as I live, if it be 1 hour, or if it be 100 years, I'll keep remembering forever and ever. I love you, dear, as long as I live. I love you,
Oh, there's
dear.
another verse, ain't there?
Okay.
Oh, I thought you was going to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess. I thought you were going to do another verse there.
I never thought
Yeah, give her a hand, will you?
that night we parted, that life without you could be so sad.
It may sound funny, but I forgot the words. But I'm having a good time with all of you nerds. As long as I live, if it be 1 hour, or if it be
100 years, I'll keep remembering forever and ever. I love you, dear, as long as I live. I love you, dear, as long as I live.
I got Oswald in there. That's the first time I heard that song was Acuff and Oswald. I didn't mean to mess you up. They said just make yourself at home and be natural, so. That's life.
Ferlin Husky and Leona Williams.
Thank y'all.
Y'all are so great. Thank you. Thanks for coming down from Branson, and thanks for sharing that. Carol Lee, come here just a second, because Carol Lee Cooper has been in the circle with us throughout the little reunion. Yeah, take your gum out, Carol Lee. Your wonderful group, the Carol Lee Singers, of course, they're the background singers. You are at the Grand Ole Opry, and I think we ought to do a couple of things. I think you ought to tell who all the members are, and then I think y'all ought to sing a song.
All right, and I brought something to show you too, for the folks that my mother is not in the business anymore, and she couldn't be here. My dad has gone on to be with the Lord, but I brought a picture of something that they used to sell on the road, Bill. Wow. And it was one of these plates with my mother and my dad and me when I was 10 years old. I just got my hair cut off, and I regretted it right then. But anyway, they sold a lot of those on the road. Wow. And a fan sent that to me. And I thought maybe that the folks might want to see a picture of that. That's the closest I can.
Let everybody take a closer look at it.
Hawk had a bunch of those.
Who?
Hawkshaw had a bunch of those.
Gene Shepard said Hawkshaw had a lot of those.
I've got 2 of them.
Really?
Wait a minute, we're getting bids for it back there. Sharon White's bidding on it. Is it for sale?
Where's Leroy Van Dyke?
When we need an auctioneer.
When we need him, yeah. Yeah.
Introduce the rest of the Carol Lee Singers.
All right, I'd love to, Bill. Thank you. Come on out, guys. We never know when to go center stage, but to my right is Nora Lee. Nora Lee and Dennis have been with me 28 years. Right, guys? 28 years. Yeah, and right out of 3rd grade, yes. So it's Dennis McCall. And on one of these days, we had his brother on, who was Daryl McCall. And so he sang with his brother on this. And then this is Rod, our bass singer, Rod Fletcher. And Rod came from Disney World and did a lot of... Tell them what you were doing, Rod.
Sang with a vocal group there at Epcot Center called the Voices of Liberty. We sang a lot of patriotic folk music.
Yeah.
No country songs.
Yes.
This is all new to me, but I love it. This is awesome.
He's learned. He's been a fast study. And Dennis, he used to work the road with Charlie Louvin. And he played... Say that on the mic, Dennis.
I said I worked against Charlie for a long time.
He played
He was hard on bass players.
Hard, yeah. And then he went to work with Barbara Mandrell for how many years, Dennis?
I was with Barbara for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And he was singing and doing the girl parts, weren't you?
Well,
those were high parts she had. Wow.
How'd you mean that?
We'll talk. And of course, Nora Lee was raised in the gospel field. Tell him, Nora Lee.
Yes, I was raised in Southern gospel with a family. And then I was briefly with the Chuck Wagon Gang, which was kind of introduction to country gospel. And then I started this job, so singing is what I do.
Yes. And we've been at the Opry. Well, I've been there for 35 years. And Rod's been with us 11. And so there's a lot of history here. We're really family. All of us are family. But this is a family to me. And we've spent many, many years together. Let's line up like we normally do. And... we did this song. Porter had requested that we do this song at his funeral. And he said, they've done it with me before. And he said, I think I'd like to have them sing it. And Jimmy Capps is so gracious to play with us. And we're going to try to do it like we did that day. Precious Memories.
Precious memories, unseen angels, sent from somewhere to my soul. How they linger ever near me, and the sacred past unfold. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, Precious Father, loving Mother, fly across the lonely years, and old home scenes of my childhood in fond memories appear. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Precious sacred scenes unfold.
Thank you for singing with us.
One of the members of our production staff asked Johnny Lee if he was going to sing from his seat. He said, "No, I'm going to sing from my mouth, but I'm going to stay in the chair." Lay a little Cherokee fiddle
They
on it.
couldn't close the door because it'd mess up the tuning, so we had a choice of singing
On pitch?
off key with the out of tune. I said, I worked for Mickey Gilley for years. What's the big deal?
You're terrible. Lay a little Cherokee fiddle on us.
I'll do it. Written by my friend Michael Martin Murphy. True story about the old Cherokee fiddler. Singing from my seat. When the train pulled into the station, he rolled up his sleeves and rosin up his bow. Fiddle upside down, orange blossom special. 'Cause if you want to make a living, you gotta put on a good show. But when he smelled the smoke and the cinders, he slicked back his hair, opened up his case, played Cherokee fiddle, played for the whiskey. 'Cause good whiskey never let him lose his place. He was always there, playing for the miners. The Devil's Dream was a song they understood. Then he'd go back to Oklahoma, and he'd wait till the train was running and the weather was good. But when he smelled the smoke and the cinders, he slicked back his hair, opened up his case, and played Cherokee fiddle, just played it for the whiskey. 'Cause good whiskey never let him lose his place. How about some music? Now the Indians are dressing up like cowboys, and the cowboys are putting feathers and turquoise on, and the music is sold by lawyers, the lawyers, and the fools who fiddled in the middle of the station are gone. But some folks say they ain't never gonna miss him. His just like the music of the whistle that the old locomotive made. So when you smell the smoke and the cinders, just slick back your hair and open up your case. Play Cherokee fiddle, just play it for the whiskey. 'Cause good whiskey never lets you lose your place. No, good whiskey never lets you lose your place. No, good whiskey never lets you lose your place. That's the way the story goes. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Bill. Well, we come back off this break and everybody's running, doing the stuff, and the makeup lady come around, touching everybody. I went into the makeup room and Judy had me in the chair. She was putting Bondo on my eyes and everything. Started spraying me. And I jerked back. She said, "Johnny, are you okay? You still breathing?" I said, "Gosh, it's been so long since a woman has asked me that." But I'm okay.
You know, we
thank you,
talk
Judy.
about country music and those of us in this room and all of us being a big family, and that is something that we're all proud of. I want to share a little story that y'all have probably never heard. A little while ago, Joe Stampley was talking about Louisiana, where he's from. All of us travel the road, some of us more than others these days. I got stuck one time a few years ago without a bus to go to Pennsylvania. We lease our buses, as a lot of you do. And I was about to miss a show date when somebody reminded me that Joe Stampley owned his own bus. And I called him just out of the clear blue sky and just asked him, begged him really, is your bus busy this weekend? And he said no. And I said, well, could you get a driver maybe? Was there any way I could beg, borrow, or steal your bus to go to Pennsylvania? And he said, well, sure. And I said, well, can you get a driver? And he said, yeah. And we went to meet the bus to go to Pennsylvania, and the driver was Joe Stampley. He took us all the way up there and saved me.
We were on a vacation during that time, and everybody had split to different areas. And so when you asked, I said, gosh, a man that's going to go down in history as one of the greatest songwriters in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm going to drive him to Pennsylvania. And I did.
He did. Let me tell you what he did. While we were doing the show, as happens often, the bus driver, of course, usually goes to the motel and goes to sleep. So Joe drove us all the way to Pennsylvania. We did the show, and we were getting ready to leave, and we were signing the last few autographs, and I looked up, and Joe had come back to the venue to get ready to drive us home.
I did.
And this lady walked up to me with something for me to sign, and she said, excuse me, said, who's that man over there? She pointed to Joe, and I said, he's our bus driver. She said, God, he looks a lot like Joe Stampley, don't he?
I'll do it again, Bill. I guarantee you, I would. I would do it again. I had a great time, and I was happy to help you.
Good. We're going to California this week.
That's what country folks do for each other. I ain't going, Bill.
How about singing us a song? Joe Stampley's had a whole bunch of hit records.
If I can just get these folks to help me on certain parts, I'll tell you. I'll clue y'all when I want y'all to help me sing. Okay?
All right. We can do that.
When I looked up, she was standing there with pretty long black shiny hair, and I heard her say, do you need a little company? But in that old bar, the lights were dim, and I'll bet she didn't notice them. Two old faithful friends right here with me, and I've got red wine, blue memories, and a heartache won't set me free. And I've got lots of time for drinking, lots more time for thinking. I've got red wine, she turned and walked away and shook her head as if to say, man, you've missed a real good time with me. Oh, but I just poured another glass and toasted someone from the past, some old but not forgotten memory. Here we go. And I've got red wine and blue memories and a heartache won't set me free. And I've got lots of time for drinking, lots more time for thinking. I've got red wine and blue memories. Red wine and blue memories. Little red wine, some blue memories.
That's great, Joe. Barbara, do you realize you have come in between one of the top duets in all of country music? You're sitting here between Joe Stampley
We
and
have
Mo
a
Bandy.
rose between two thorns. Is what we have.
How sweet of y'all to say that. Well, I just want to make sure that they didn't get to fighting. No. No, they're precious.
I have had each one of these guys, and we were talking about the buses. I've had each one of these guys separately on the radio show that I do on XM. And I asked them both the same question, and I got two different answers. So I'm going to lay it out here again, and I want to settle it right here. The story is that one time on the road, Joe Stampley and Mo Bandy were working together, each traveling in their own bus. And after the show, they decided to have a bus race. Now, Joe says they were on the interstate and that he won. Mo said they were on a country road and he won. Now, what's the true story about the race?
The true story is we were right in the middle of the mountains. And I won. Yeah, but I remember we went down this one thing, but I had a new bus. I had a new bus.
That's right, you outran me.
And your old bus couldn't make it up the hill.
That old bus is what got him to Pennsylvania.
I know. You know, Joe, you loaned him your bus. You let me borrow your bus one time, but you didn't drive.
Well, you were gone for 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So you're finally admitting that he won the race? You know, it was pretty tight there. I just, maybe just by a little bit he did beat me there.
Who caught the biggest fish on the TV show?
Dang, Mo, you did.
And he's the fisherman.
And I'm the fisherman.
Yeah, he's the fisherman.
We were doing a TV show one time, and we was doing this bass show, and Mo ended up catching the biggest fish. Like to kill me.
Which is kind of strange because I don't fish that much, but
tell
luckily, I rubbed it
him
in.
who can cook the crappie.
Joe can. Joe cooked
Well, now you
crappie
come to
great.
my house and cook the crappie for me.
I can do that.
And I think you should have all these folks over to your house and show them what we're talking about.
And I'll show them
tonight.
albino deer I've showed y'all too.
Do I need to furnish the crappie, or do you have it?
I've been catching them on Percy Priest Lake.
Okay, I'll come to your house.
Which one of y'all wears the dress?
Hey, Johnny, I'll tell you a quick story.
I knew you'd ask.
We were about to do that video, and so they made me up first. And Mo, he just about backed out. He says, you know, I've got so many cowboy friends that they'll be calling me this and that and the other, and so I'll never be able to go play a rodeo again. Do you understand what we're doing here? And I says, Mo, let me go back here first, and I'll come. I came back out, so tell him what happened, Mo.
Well, we did the I'll never forget. We filmed part of it at the Opera House, and we talked Mr. Acuff into coming out, and he did a little thing where he ran us off the stage. And I'll never forget, we were in our outfits there, and Mr. Acuff come up and he said, I don't know what you boys doing, but I hope you make some money.
He did say that, Mo. But Mo, I was going to finish this now. When I came out with all my garb on and everything, Mo said, if you're man enough to do it, I am too.
Yeah. And I'll never live it down. To this day, I go anywhere and people say, where's the dress? But I'm going to tell you where the dress is to answer your question. I threw the dress in the garbage.
Oh, you should.
Here in Nashville. Joe went and got it.
I did. I kept
And
both
he's
them
got it.
dresses, put them in a bag, a clothes bag, and they're at my house right now, hanging up in the closet. And if ever we need them, we got them.
I wish you'd have took his high heels. We get tired of him showing up at the golf course like this.
I tell everybody it got to getting good to Joe, and so he went and kept the bus.
I beg your pardon.
It was pretty good to both of you. You won the Video of the Year award.
Yes, we
with
did.
that. Yeah.
We sure did. We were out there with Rod Stewart and all the rock and roll people.
We were out there at Hollywood, California, sitting in the audience with that big Video of the Awards show, and there was Rod Stewart, and there was this one and that one, all them big rockers and stuff, and me and Mo sitting, and they loved that song.
Yeah.
They really did.
And this was before they had individual video awards. It was all one, American Video Awards.
And I believe the reason they all loved it was because that peckerhead boy George, it was about him.
Let's don't go there. You done been through one lawsuit. Just a couple of good old boys. How about getting a song out of Mo and Joe? What do you think, huh?
Yeah, Mo and Joe.
Can we both stand on this X at the same time? I don't think so. You gonna tell them about how we got this song? We were in Europe, and we were standing there, and Joe come by and said, Mo and Joe.
We
that
were at the
sounds
Hard
like-
Rock Cafe, Mo.
Hard Rock Cafe, and Joe said, Mo and Joe, it sounds like Waylon and Willie. And your piano player,
Ansley Fleetwood,
Fleetwood,
on the way back from Europe, wrote Just Good Old Boys.
Yeah.
Ray Baker, our producer at the time, he took 3 songs to CBS at the time. You were on Columbia, I was on Epic.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, if you have any magic in those 3 songs, we'll put out an album.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that magic turned into gold, and praise God.
Yeah, thank goodness. Here we go. Send this out to all the good old boys and the good old girls. That's what I
tell them, Mo.
Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around.
I've been locked up for driving 120 through town.
I've been shot at and cut with a knife for messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. What'd you tell them? Tell them about it, John.
I threw my boss out a window and got fired from my last job.
I hot-wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard.
Well, I beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost 20 bucks on his football bet.
But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys is all we'll ever be. I got an alimony payment that's 6 weeks overdue.
Yeah, brother. Got caught with a trunk full of Mo Bandy out-of-state booze.
Hocked my wife's diamond ring last June. Bought me an outboard Evinrude. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, all the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys is all we'll ever be. Good old boys is all we'll ever be. Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Oh, that's great, man.
Good old boy.
That was 1979.
I just wonder, you're called Mo and Joe. How did he get top billing? Why isn't it Joe and Mo?
I thought it rang a bell better.
You were willing to give him top billing?
When I talked to Mo at the Hard Rock Cafe, and that was strange for Mo and Joe to be at the Hard Rock Cafe in London, England, I said, you know, Waylon and Willie do ring a bell. And I said, Mo and Joe might, and then...
You remember, Joe, I had a recording session, and I had some time left in it. And we went in and recorded, and then we had the time left, and we brought, you came in. We did the Good Old Boys, took it to the label, and they didn't even hear any of the rest of the album. It changed the whole thing around, and it really was fun time.
Well, the 3 songs we did first was Just Good Old Boys, You Always Leave Me Holding the Bag, and Tell Old I Ain't Here, You Better Get On Home.
Yeah, right.
And you won the Duet of the Year award.
We won it twice.
Well, actually 3 times. We won twice in California and once here, I think.
That's right, yes. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Well, it's great to hear you together again.